Yeah.
How big was this for Salford, though, Tim?
In what terms do you mean? As in terms of where it was in the match?
No, in terms of the result that they've managed to pull off by, you know, being the side that scored that drop goal. It looks like Huddersfield didn't even try one till the last 2 minutes, so I don't understand why they didn't at least think tie the game up and then go for it. But by scoring that drop goal, by winning this game, by winning a game when they had a man down for all this time, when they've been under so much fire for how poor they've been recently, both leaking easy tries and just winning no games.
I mean, yeah, it's their second win of the season. It is massive for them, and it doesn't put them, all that far off Huddersfield. They're only a win behind Huddersfield at this point, having actually played one more game, in fact. So, but even so, they've still got a chance to take themselves out of the conversation by two wins puts them one place off the playoffs, bizarrely. It's if they can keep this, use this as a springboard, and they have got a lot of quality in that team. And that's been the question with Salford, is what's not working. Is it coaching? Is it too much change at once? Are keep it players unsettled? What is it that's they have just been diabolical at times. I mean, they have deserved. They haven't really. There's not one I can think of where they've really deserved to win.
No, you're right. There's been some embarrassing performances by them.
I mean, in any other year, you'd expect them on this form to be well down, but we've got the Derek's excellently supported, well fanned boys that are propping everyone up.
Well, that to me is the reason why this is so huge. That they've got 2 wins on Lee now, and they play Lee. Let me just double check. I think twice now, still before the season's out, but no, once. Have they played Lee already? They did, didn't they? Because they went behind to Lee early doors and then won it in the end. So they've got one more game against Lee, and if they win that in rivals round, there's absolutely no chance you'd feel that Lee are gonna stay up. So Salford have with this 1-point victory, they've almost secured themselves Super League safety, which means that Huddersfield won't be the only people aggrieved by that refereeing decision, and by Huddersfield's lack of attacking performance. Lee Centurions will too. It's huge for Salford, huge.
Yeah, and they've also they've done well as well because they've still got an extra game on Lee. So Lee have played 11, Salford have played 10. So there's potential there. They could secure this. It probably is only 2 more wins that leaves them comfortably safe.
And they get to play Leeds without Luke Gale, which but we'll talk more about that later on. We've got one more game to talk about, and it is a blowout. Lee 22, Hull FC 64. It was 34-6 at half time to Hull FC, so the game was over by half time. It was refereed by James Child. We don't have complete stats for Lee Centurions because Super League don't believe Ben Reynolds exists, but individually, Jake Connor with one.
Face it, does anyone sure Ben Reynolds really exists?
Well, he scored a try, so. Jake Connor, a try, 4 try assists, 9 tackles, 159 metres and 2 clean breaks for the rumoured combies fullback. Adam Swift, 2 tries, 168 metres, 2 clean breaks. Chris Satai celebrated his new deal with a try, 5 tackles, 134 metres and 2 clean breaks. And Andre Savelio got 3 tries, 131 metres and 3 clean breaks. Ian Thornley for Lee had 6 tackles and 119 metres. Still doesn't mean that is an elite Super League centre. Fan views.
AK Steel 69 says Lee, on the brink of their first win, got absolutely mullered by a shackle-free Hull side playing a previously unseen offload game. In truth, Hull were quite sloppy, but still scored almost at will. Jack Brown scored the try of the season. Gentleman Josh had a hand, or at least a middle finger. And the Snake was a different class with too many assists to come. He must be in the England 17 for the World Cup. Well, he's not in the England 17 for this weekend as it stands.
I think
he's bringing it up.
He's got to be more consistent, and Sam Tompkins has got to be injured, I think is the way I see it. But
the problem is as we've said with him many times before, do you trust him not to do something stupid when it matters? For me, it's still a no.
Scoot said, was worried about a potential banana skin, but thankfully the free-flowing rugby meant the result was quickly not in doubt. Tries across the park, some really nice team tries, particularly Jack Brown's, as well as moments of individual greatness. It was good to keep pressing on and not take foot off the gas. Hopefully we will stay consistent ahead of next week.
Tom Andrews, team who pride themselves above all else on number of tackles, let worst Super League side in history score 22. Disgraceful.
David Lum said, was a tad apprehensive pre-game, but Hull's tactics of spreading the ball wide early in each set, utilising the full pitch, was too much for Lee. The support play was top draw with so many options at each break. Wynne was up against a top experienced centre in Thornley, but wow, what a performance. Wynne is a carbon copy of Shaw in physique and pace, but maybe a better all-rounder. Jack Brown continues to impress too.
Always in our shadow, rounds out was saying, you know we were good. Deggy said so.
Degsy did say so. He said it was the best rugby league performance he'd ever seen ever in the world ever. So how could any of his club supporters be annoyed that they got fucking butchered at home?
In front of the worst fans ever in anything.
But in all seriousness, clearly Hull FC had something clicking on the day. They scored some nice tries. And it is totally fair to pull out that Jack Brown one, because the amount of hands it went through, the amount of times it looked like the play was over but someone pulled something out and set something else up. Jack Brown was the only person who wasn't willing to offload, because otherwise I think there was a man supporting him as well who might have even had an easier stroll to the line than he did. But it was a very good team try. There was a nice try in there from Adam Swift. I think his second try. That was quite impressive as well. Bit of individual skill and speed down close to the sideline for him on that one. And yeah, close to the line, they were able to get their arms free for the big guys to pop over, because Manu Mao got on the scoreboard, didn't he? Jack Brown we've already talked about. Tavita Satai we mentioned, and of course Savelio getting all them tries. And instead of scoring the first try this time, Lee scored the last try. But actually, they were ahead after 6 minutes, were Lee, in this game. 6-4 ahead. So, similar to how many times we've talked about it so far, you know, they start games, but they just can't compete for 80 minutes. And in fact, in this game, they couldn't compete for probably 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a danger of being a virtue signal, really, with the amount FC scored, wasn't it?
Did you see the Jack Brown try yet? It's in the R League try of the week if anyone's not seen it.
No, I'll have to have a look at that one.
So, in the standings, Catalans hold on to top spot without playing, as second and third place St Helens and Wigan both lost. Warrington in fourth get a little closer to those above them. Hull FC stay fifth and Hull KR stay sixth. Castleford are seventh ahead of Leeds, Huddersfield, Wakefield and Salford, who improved to 20% win rate, leaving them 2 wins above winless bottom-placed Lee. We did get some people getting in touch about the game that didn't happen. EFC78JU said, hopefully the full Leeds team can go and isolate after being in contact with the positives in training, and then players that are positive can recover from the virus and they have a rescheduled date for the game at Perpignan and will be due to play during the Challenge Cup final weekend, which will be around the... I couldn't do it in one breath. July 17th, 18th, which is set to be confirmed. It has been confirmed now. It's going to be a 6:15 kickoff on Friday, the 16th, will it be? The Friday?
Yes, 16th, yeah.
Yeah. And it will be on Sky, because it will be on TV in France. And Alan Walker said if they can't be arsed, they should say so and not cry off yet again. They'll be up for it when it gets cold again, I suppose. Is it going to be cold in July?
Probably. Well, who knows at this rate, you know.
are they going to be able to go though? It seems to be the most doomed fixture of all the doomed fixtures. The first one to be called off, and the most recent one to be not the most recent one now, is it? Because Hull KR Saints is off, but
yeah.
At least it's one that has been able to get a window to be rearranged. Stat line of the week, I have to go Ashton Golding. To not even play, to play only like 2/3 of the game at hooker in a position you don't normally play. 56 tackles, 21 of Mitch Marker tackles, which is a massive number. Not quite an SLP record, but still massive. And 108 metres. You gotta say, Ash Golding put the hard yards in and deserved his credit.
Yeah, I mean, I'd echo that one. I think that's to do that when it's not really a natural position for him. It's great work for his team. I think. Well, I'd have to call out the greatest winger in Super League as well. 1 try, 164 metres for Ryan Hall.
Yeah, there's a few players who got more metres than that.
Yeah, but he's the greatest winger in Super League, so you've got to call him out occasionally.
Player of the week. I don't know. Not a Wigan player.
Adam Quinn.
Maybe Steph Ratchford. He probably stood out the most in that game on the Thursday night on the TV. Yeah, Brad Takarangi was very good for Hull KR as well. He'd be in the conversation, I think. Highlight of the week, if we're talking from Super League, is Jack Brown's try. Get it watched. Although, what are you coming up against when you're playing the Championship side, I suppose? Can it be a Super League highlight of the week? No, I'm joking. It was fantastic.
I'm just going to say the Friday night result.
Yeah, it was a big one for Salford. You're right, Tim.
1, 2. Oh, here you go.
Oh, I know. I was just going to say what wasn't a highlight was my predictions performance. 1 out of 5, and that was the Hull FC one. So, yeah, Alan got 3 out of 5.
Points for that, because if you get that wrong.
Look, everyone's entitled to a walkover every now and again when they're in bad form. Alan was 3 out of 5, so it wasn't like he was spectacular, but he does take over at the top of the host Super Brew, so he almost have been pretty shit. He's ahead of David, then you, Tim, then Sarah, then I'm at the bottom last. In the main Super Brew, Craig, the expat cast fan, stays top. Lewis Banks wears the yellow cap this week. And the Fantasy League's gone. It's done. I'm done with it. It winds me up. I'm even more disillusioned with the Fantasy League than I am with my Wigan Warriors men's side. That's the that's the match reviews done from Super League. Thanks for everyone for their fan views on those games. Make sure you get your fan views in on next week's games too for us to talk about on next week's show. We're now gonna see how quick we can do other results. So we'll move on to that. Other results time, and we're going to start with the Women's Super League, where it was round 5, I think, but I don't understand the rounds, how they work. But anyway, it was Bradford 10, Leeds 42, Wigan 28, Castleford 8, in a game where Castleford were only able to get 15 players out for the fixture. Warrington 52, Wakefield 14, and York beat St Helens 24-0, but that was of course a walkover result as Saints couldn't field a team but didn't have enough COVID-related absences for it to be postponed for COVID reasons. So effectively, that means that the game is a what's it called?
Walkover.
Yes. So yeah, and Huddersfield and Featherstone was happening as we record, but I'll just go and check now. Full time, and Rovers have secured a second consecutive league win. It looks like it was a 28-18 result in the end. So actually, the Giants have been competitive there with a much more established